All right. And so this is going to be a little bit of a strength class. I planned for it to be a nice flow class so that, we could kind of explore how yoga gets us we'll check all the boxes, right? So you can do all kinds of different things with your practice from really relaxing and settling into the mind body piece of it. And then, or if you're using it like I use it in the winter as my main source of activity, you can use it for a more cardio, more body mind piece, right? So I get a lot more cardio in there. So today, actually, we're going to do a little bit of both. We'll consider this like a sampler class. And I'm going to try not to be too distracted as I have one eyeball on the on my Zoom meeting here to make sure that nobody's trying to get in a little bit late here. So we're going to actually start with a little bit of breath work. You know how I love my breath work. So sitting in any seat, I'm sitting in my hero pose on my block. When doing breath work, I really prefer to have this extra space that comes from being up on your shins, up on your knees. And it's up to you. If this is not comfortable for you, like I said, you can sit on that block if you like, but you do not have to if you don't like it, or you can sit in your crisscross applesauce. So to get started, just bring your right hand to your heart space and bring your left hand to your belly space. And just relax your shoulders back and down. And we're going to do our 3-part breath to open our class here. And we'll come back and revisit this again as we seal our practice later on in about 40 minutes or so. So go ahead and lift through the crown of the head. You can close your eyes if you like to tune in. And breathe all the way in and track your breath as you breathe through your nose, down the back of your throat, into your lungs, and as if, now I know anatomy, but as if you are filling all the way into the bottom of your belly. So we're not really drawing the air all the way in there. We are just creating that space. And then as you exhale, same thing, we're squeezing from the bottom up. So squeeze into the belly and then let that push all of the air out of the lungs and back up through the throat and back out the nose. We'll take a few rounds of this, and this is really good for just bringing you onto your mat, into your practice. Bringing all your awareness to what your body needs from your practice today. So maybe noticing if there are any areas where you have a little bit of tightness, any areas where you need a little special attention, maybe through the hips or the quads. For me, it's the knee for the last month or so. Now it's called 3-part because we're going to add in one piece here. You're going to pause at the bottom of your breath. So as you inhale all the way through the back of the nose, down the throat, into the lungs, into the belly. Feel that belly hand rise. And then we're going to pause at the bottom of that breath. And then go ahead and exhale and start to squeeze everything out. Starting from the bottom, squeezing all the way up. Inhaling all the way in through the nose, back of the throat, the lungs, the belly. Pausing at the top of that breath or the bottom of that breath. And then exhaling. Last time here. Getting that nice big breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, feel everything settle in and melt into your practice, even letting your hands come to your lap here. And then just let your breath happen as it will. So letting yourself be breathed here. Go ahead and blink your eyes open. We're just going to do a little bit of mobility through the arms and shoulders because for an aggressive class, we always have some arm work. So bringing your arms all the way up towards the sky, pressing palms together, look up towards your hands, interlace all of your fingers except for your index, cross your thumbs, it doesn't matter which way, and then start to pull through the hands and feel that space between the shoulders and the ribs. And then open up through the heart space, take a little back bend backwards for yourself here. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. You can bring them to prayer hands. Sweep the arms nice and wide on the inhale, all the way up. Press palms together, interlace the fingers, release the index and the thumb. Inhale, nice and big here, and then exhale, hands draw down all the way through heart center. One more time, just like that. Inhale, reach all the way up, really linking into this breath today. So if you're not used to a regular practice, this linking into the breath is a little bit strange, might feel a little lightheaded. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Good. We're going to take a look over our left shoulder. I do everything to the left first. You can do opposite of me if that feels more natural, or you can just follow my cues. So look over your left shoulder, really twisting into the neck, but being mindful of your own body shape here today. Inhale back through center, exhale to the other side. So left hand comes to the right knee, right hand comes around the back, look over the right shoulder. Starting to open up. And then exhale, go ahead and come back through center. We're going to start with a little bit of movement in our practice today. So come up off your block if you're on one. We're going to find our way to our forward fold. So take your time getting there. Curl your toes under. So we're coming up to standing, hands plant on the mat in front of you, and then go ahead and start to push back onto your heels into a low crouch. Let the head be super heavy here. Tailbone lifts up towards the sky. So now we're in this forward fold. Wherever your feet are, make sure you're nice and comfortable. So for me, that means a little bit wider than hip width, right? So I can put both my fists in between my feet, grab opposite elbows, and maybe sway a little side to side here. Tailbone lifts up towards the sky. Nice, go ahead and take a nice half lift. So put your fingers on the mat, and we're going to just lift shoulders even with hips, push the butt back towards the back of your mat, and then maybe walk the hands to your shins. So try not to lock out your knees here. You wanna make sure that you're not locking, but you're nice and engaged here. Pull the belly up and in, and reach the tailbone away from your head. So pull your head out of your ass, and reach nice and long. And then go ahead and exhale and melt down over the legs. Let your head be super duper heavy here. This time we're coming all the way up, root down through all four corners of the feet, bend the knees and sweep the arms nice and wide, come all the way up. Inhale, lift, 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 lift. Press palms together at the top, and then exhale, hands come to heart center. Relax your shoulders. Nice. All right, we're gonna take a little bit of a flow. I'm turning so that I have the length of my mat. You can stay exactly where you are if you have the room. We're going to inhale, reach all the way up, press palms together, and then exhale, fold down, melt down over the legs. Take that nice half lift here. We're going to step back with the right foot. Right knee comes to the mat and find that low lunge. So the knee is down. You can release that back foot and lift the arms up towards the sky. Nice low lunge. And this might feel a little achy on the hips. If you need to, you can bring your hands to the hips if reaching up overhead is too much. Otherwise, just go ahead and hold those hands up here. Look up, open that heart, and then place both hands down either side of that front foot, and let's curl the toes under, lift that back knee, step forward, forward fold. Here we go, we're gonna root to rise, sweep the arms all the way up, come all the way up, press palms together. Same thing, second side, just melt down over the legs, bend the knees, fold down. Find that half lift, use your fingertips on the floor to help you. Step back with the left foot, left knee comes down, reach all the way up, find that low lunge. So we're really just exploring what's going on for you here. So checking out the hips, noticing what's going on, reaching those arms up. Perfect, both hands come down, we're stepping forward one more time. Keep your feet about hip width here, and melt down over the legs. Very nice. We're going to find a little low squat here. So your feet are hip width, sit back into the heels, bend the knees, and lift the heart up, bring hands to heart center. So it's almost a chair pose, but it's a wider stance. So we're just going to sit back and sit down, rock back into your heels here, and keep that space between the legs. So we're really trying to light up the big muscles, right? So the butt, the thighs, the hamstrings, the upper legs here. And then go ahead and stand all the way up, but sweep your arms behind you, interlace your fingers, and open up your heart. So squeeze those shoulder blades together, open the heart, You can rock a little side to side if you don't want to stand still. And then go ahead and release the hands. We're coming right back into that squat. Press back, step down. It's a little bit easier. If you're modifying for knees, you're going to stay a little bit higher. Otherwise, sink down nice and low. And then inhale, sweep the arms nice and wide. Interlace behind you, stand up, open the heart. So we're tucking and we're arching and curling of the back here. Exhale, sit down, sit back, sit into the heels. Nice. Last time, we're going to stand all the way up, interlace the fingers, press them behind you, open that heart. And this time we're going to fall forward over the legs, forward fold, let the hands come forward over the top of your head. So if you're really stiff or sore through the arms, your arms might be right on your lower back, and that's perfect. If you've got the space, they might reach up towards the ceiling. You want to make sure that you're looking between your legs though. So don't crick the neck so that you're looking at your feet. You don't need to look down there. Look between the knees. Beautiful. Release the hands down to the mat. Find that half lift. And this time we're going to step all the way back to the top of our plank. So high push up. So right foot steps back and left foot steps back. Take your time getting into the shape here. Hands are underneath your shoulders, engaging through the core. Zip the belly up and in and reach your tailbone towards the back of the room. Nice. So you can always tap your knees down here. This is not everybody's favorite shape. But we're going to move a little bit. We're going to do what I call a yogi mountain climber. It's super duper slow as far as mountain climber goes. We're going to inhale, reach up, back with the tailbone, push back into your downward facing dog, which is just an upside down knee. Inhale the right leg behind you. And then on your exhale, you're going to bend that knee, pull it forward, reach forward, come back into that plank with the knee in towards your ribs. Nice. And then exhale, step that right foot down. Same thing, left side. Inhale up and back, that left foot comes up with you. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring that knee in towards the chest as we rock back into that plank. Step that left foot down. Now your arms are talking to you. Right foot up and back. Downward facing dog. It's called a three-legged dog. Exhale, knee in towards your nose. That's a bandha charger. And then exhale, step it down. Inhale to the left. We're going to do one more. Knee comes towards nose. Go ahead and step it down. And then from here, right leg back, up and back. Snuggle that thigh in towards your ribs, step forward. Now we've made the space. Just step that right foot in between the legs, reach all the way up, inhale lift. Nice. So from here, make sure that you have the space for your hips, right? So you've got left foot is stepping out, right foot is stepping out. You've got the room for your hips here. Both arms are reaching up towards the sky. Perfect. We're going to exhale, reach forward, press out of that back leg and hinge over the right side. From here, so I just adjusted a little, so I was going to fall out of it. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms all the way up and bend the back knee. So this is called a carousel horse. If you ever take bar with me, this is a pretty common move in bar. And then as you exhale, you're going to push out of the back heel, hinge forward, reach for the wall behind you. Inhale, and then find your way down into that carousel horse. So you can kind of see why it's called that. Exhale, reach forward. Nice. Inhale all the way up, bend that back knee, hands come down to heart center as you lower that back knee down to the mat. Now you're really feeling that hip flexor on that left side. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up towards the sky. Beautiful. Take a little break here. So you want to squeeze your legs in towards the midline. You want to sink the hips down towards the mat. Right hand is facing out away towards the right. Both hands come down. Lift that back knee. Let's step back into that plank shape. I'm going to do that same thing on the left. Inhale, left leg comes up. Pull that knee in towards your nose. Step between the hands. You have that space. That foot comes down. Reach all the way up. Make sure your hips are railroad tracks. Look up. Beautiful. Maybe slide that back foot in just slightly. Exhale, reach and hinge for the back wall. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, reach. Nice. Inhale into your little carousel. Exhale, reach. And starting to feel this. Inhale all the way up. Hands come down to heart center, bending through the knee, all the way down to the mat. Right hand comes down, left hand comes up. Enjoy that nice twist. Very good. Squeezing the thighs together here. Looking up. So if you have a shiny surface that you can look at, you want that left hand right over the right, and you want everything stacked. So a nice plumb line there. Beautiful. Perfect. Right knee comes off the mat. We're going to step back into that high plank shape. And through our first vinyasa of the day, so nothing fancy, just lowering down all the way down to the mat, coming to your belly, keeping the hands right underneath the shoulders, lift head, heart, and shoulders for your up dog or your cobra. So cobra is everything on the mat except for your torso. Up dog is everything off the mat except for your feet. Curl those toes under and find your way up and back into your downward facing dog. Ooh. We're just gonna walk it out a little bit. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Push your heels down towards the mat. Look up towards the hands. Walk, step, hop, forward, fold at the top of your mat. Feet are about just underneath your hips, maybe about 2 fingers in between the big toes. Melt down over the mat. You can grab opposite elbows here. Rock a little to the left, rock a little to the right. Nice. Inhale, release, root to right, sweep all the way up. Hands come to heart center. We're sitting down into a more narrow chair pose. So just like you're sitting back into that chair, but you're keeping that 2 fingers width between your feet, your knees, so they're not squeezing together. There's a little bit of space there, and you're really bringing all your awareness to your booty here, sitting back. Nice. We're going to stand up. We're not interlacing the fingers this time. We're just going to sweep them behind us. So go ahead and stand up, push the hips forward, and sweep your arms back. We're going to do 3 more just like that. Exhale, sit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit. Apparently I tired out the dog. Inhale, stand. This is number 4, sit. Stand all the way up. And then on this one, we're going to sit back into that chair, hands at heart center. And we're going to step back, lift the right heel, and either slide or step that right foot back behind you. Reach the hands all the way up. So adding on that cardio here, we're going to lean forward, and we're just going to step the right foot in to meet the left, come onto the toes here. So the right toe is just tapped next to the left, step back, in, and back. That's 3, back, 4, and hold in your crescent pose. Ooh, not super easy. Hands come to heart center, hinge from the hips, and float that back leg, that right leg off the mat. Find your way to your warrior 3. So super strong practice today. Right toes reach behind you. Shoulders are square. Hips are in line with your shoulders. You can hang out here, or you can reach your arms overhead. So again, if you have a shiny surface and you don't need to look at the floor, you can look at and make sure that your leg is even with your hip. And then from here, hands come to heart center. We're going to stand all the way up and place that right foot next to the left. Ooh-wee. 2 fingers distance here. Second side, here we go. We're going to sit down into that chair and stand up. Push the hands behind. 3 more. Sit, stand, push the hips forward. You're going to squeeze into the butt. That's 3. Last 1. And 4. Step back left foot. Ooh-wee. Nice. Into that crescent. So make sure you're drilling down through that right foot, reaching your fingers up towards the sky. Hinge forward. We're just going to either slide. If you have a really sticky mat, like mine's super sticky, I have to actually lift that foot. We're just going to bring it in. Step it back. In. Back. You can keep the hands overhead if you like. And 4, step back. Take that nice big crescent. Ooh-wee. Exhale, hands to heart center. Float that left leg off the mat. Square off the hips. Nice. You can do anything with your arms. You can reach them out behind you. You can reach them out to the side if you don't have a wall there. You can keep them underneath. Or like I did before, you can reach them out overhead. If you reach them overhead though and you get lots of tension, you want to back out of it. Nice. From here, because we're going to transition, we're going to bend down, place the fingers on the mat, step back with that left foot, and then step back with the right foot. And all the way through, you're going to take that push up down to the mat on either your up dog or your cobra. Up. I'm taking up dog. And then exhale into your downward facing dog. So it's just a back bend. And then we're relaxing into our down dog, which I always say is a resting shape, but it doesn't always feel like it. So if you ever need to take a break, you go right ahead and do that. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. We're just moving right along through this sequence here. Let's walk both feet together. So big toes touch. Right leg is going to reach up behind you on the inhale. On the exhale, you're going to bring the knee in towards the nose, step between the hands, find your way to that crescent warrior, reach the hands up. Inhale, lift. Nice. Sink a little lower, relax your shoulders. Hands come to heart center, step forward right into your chair pose. Ooh-wee, not easy. Perfect. Stand all the way up, press into the heels, reach up, press palms together. Exhale, fold down into that forward fold. Nice. Inhale, half lift. Left leg steps back again, right into that crescent. Reach the arms all the way up. And then on your exhale, find your way into that warrior three by floating that back leg off the mat. Nobody's favorite shape. Both hands come down to the mat, step that left foot back, right foot back. You can skip the vinyasa here if you don't want to do that push-up, you don't have to. Otherwise, everybody comes all the way down. Inhale for your cobra or your up dog. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Look at your hands. Make sure they're at least as wide as your shoulders. Pull your belly in. Bend your knees slightly. Reach your tailbone for the back wall. Nod your head and shake your head. Push your heels down towards the mat. The left leg is going to reach behind you. Inhale, lift, lift, lift. Knee comes in towards the nose. Inhale all the way up. Reach up, crescent warrior. We're going to exhale into that chair pose. Hands come together, step forward, sink low. Inhale all the way up, press it up, sweep the arms nice and wide and fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Beautiful. Exhale, step that right foot back. We're back in that crescent. Reach all the way up. Find your way to that warrior three. Float that back leg off the mat. Hinge from the hips and relax your shoulders as we square off shoulders and hips. Again, you can always reach the arms forward. Hands come down to the mat. We're going to step back with the right foot, step back with the left foot, and either take your vinyasa or go right to your downward facing dog. So either lowering down halfway, scooping up for your up dog or your back bend, and then exhale into your downward facing dog. Both heels on the mat. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. We're going to take just a tiny intermission here, walking your feet about halfway up the mat, walking your hands about halfway back towards your feet. So now we're in a forward fold in the middle of our mat. So we're just bent over here. Take a nice half lift, flat back. And then on an exhale, you're going to peel the heels off the mat, come up onto your tippy toes, sit down, hips to heels into a little yogi squat or a little tiny ball, and then roll, or as gracefully as it works for you, some days not so much for me, use your hands if you need to, coming all the way down onto your seat and right into our Navasana, our boat pose. So hopefully you lined it up a little bit better than I did. And you're in the middle of your mat. And I want you to look at your knees. So for me, my hips throw me out of a little bit of alignment. So just go ahead and wobble until your knees are even here. Your shins are even with your knees and your arms reach out. Now, if that creates this rounding of the back, I want you to back out by either bringing your toes down to the mat or to grab behind your knees. I want you to lift your part in that same back bend that we did before and reach for the toes. We're going to do a crunch here. So we're going to lower it down. So you have the option of just placing your feet on the mat and leaning back, or taking half boat, which is all the way down at the mat, and then pull the knees in towards the chest and come back up. So it's boat and half boat. We're going to do 4 of them total. That's 2, that's 3, and then there's a prize at the end. That's 4. We're coming all the way down, all the way to the mat. Grab that right knee in towards your chest. Give it a nice big hug. This should feel quite delightful. We're going to take this right knee across the body into a nice twist. So twists are someplace that I like to use a block underneath my knee to give just a little bit of extra room. You can reach that opposite arm, which for me is the right arm, out towards the right, and keep your left hand on your left knee. I'll go ahead and look over the left shoulder. We're not going to be here too long, but long enough to give you just enough breath to catch your breath. For me, catch my breath, because I'm talking. Although admittedly, when I'm not talking, the sequence is a bit of a hot one. Come back to your breath here. So I always talk about coming back to your breath and trying to work towards the most steady and even breath that you can find. So it might be short sips of air with the twist that condenses. It might be a little bit choppy. But if it's really irregular and you're struggling to catch your breath, you want to back out of the pose a little bit. Or in my case, stop talking. Let's go ahead and unwind, unravel. We're coming back onto our backs. Pull the knees into the heart space. Again, you can use your hands to help you. We're coming back into that Navasana, that boat pose. So I like to put my hands behind my legs and then rock up. Stack the shins so they're parallel to the mat. Your knees and ankles are in line. I like to point my toes here, but you could flex your feet if that's a more comfortable shape for you. And then reach the arms towards the toes. Think about lifting up that heart. 4 of those crunches. Here we go, nice and slow. Push the feet away, lower the legs, and then inhale, lift. You can hold on to the legs the whole time. That's 2. You want to think about kneeing yourself, boop, right in the chest. And 4, take your time getting down, lower the feet, lower the shoulders, and then melt down onto the mat. Go ahead and bring that left knee into your heart space. Give it a nice little tug. And then we're going to take this left leg across the body over to the right if you use that block on the other side. So when you're taking a twist, I'll cue you to try and keep your shoulders square on the mat. But for a lot of us, it's not very realistic. So what you're really looking to do is make sure that the top hip is stacked over the bottom hip. And if that means that the shoulder comes up, that's okay. So you can always just place that top arm either on your body or behind your back to kind of prop you there. You can use another block underneath your shoulder. Or you can just let the body or gravity just kind of pull that left shoulder down. Nice. All right, go ahead and unwind, unravel. Go ahead and move that block out of the way if you're using one. Pull your knees into your heart space. We're going to do a little bit of a hip opener in this next circuit here. So go ahead and grab onto one knee with each hand, the same knee, same hand, so it makes sense. Pull the knees towards your armpits and then maybe wrap your forearms around your shins, flex through the feet, and then just take like a modified happy baby here. So we're just gonna rock and roll a little side to side, but what we're really doing is opening up the hips. Nice. All right, go ahead and grab behind the knees, pull them together, and we're going to rock and roll up and over and find your way to your downward facing dog. So like I said, I'm nursing that knee, so it's going to move a little bit slowly for me today, but you can pop over and hop back and take whatever kind of flair you like for this pose. Both feet are hip width. And nod your head, shake your head. Nice. We're coming back to those yogi mountain climbers. So walk your big toes to touch. Right leg is going to reach behind you on the inhale. As you exhale, you're going to squeeze everything out of the lungs. You pull the thigh in towards your ribs, roll over, shoulders right over the wrists, and then inhale, step back into your downward dog. Inhale, left leg reaches, knee to nose. As you stack the shoulders over the wrists, step back into that plank. Down dog. Right leg, knee to nose, into your plank. Left leg, three-legged dog, knee to nose, stack. Last time, right leg up. We're going to step between the hands this time. So pull that knee in, come forward, push away from your mat to make the space, and step that right foot down. We're going to line front heel up to back arch and open up into warrior two. Nice. Going to get a little bit of oblique work here. So make sure that your knee is on we're in one plane here. So we're between the storm door and the door, right? So if you have a sliding glass door and you have a screen door, you kind of know what that looks like, right? We're going to take this right hand down just in front of the right knee, and the left hand is going to reach up. And now we're going to use our shoulders and our hands to sweep back up in that nice T shape, and then the left arm goes just in front of the knee, right arm goes up. So we're going to do 4 of these. Exhale, and we just sweep. So this is a very functional movement. And back to the left. This mimics things that we kind of do every day. Make sure you still keep that bend in the front knee. This is 3. Left leg down, right leg up. And then we're going to hold on this one. We're going to bring either the fingers to the mat or the elbow to the knee. I'm going to go all the way down on this one today. Nice. And from here, we're going to heel toe this back foot in about 3 steps. So now we're in a very narrow stance, and go ahead and come all the way back up. Hands come to your heart. Back toes are going to stay right where they are. My right leg is really shaking here. And this is a little bit tricky. So we're going to rock back into this left foot. So it feels odd, but the knee being open is preparing us for where we're going. So we're going to stand up on this left foot. Right foot lifts off the mat. Come back gracefully into that warrior two, and then lift up. So it feels a little bit shaky, and oops, we're going to knock ourselves over. And we're coming right into our tree in 3, 2, and we're going to stick it and hold right here. So you can plant that foot inside the leg and maybe pull that right foot up a little bit higher if it works for you. We're still in between the storm door and the screen door, or the storm door and the door, and then reach the right arm up towards the sky. Relax your shoulders. So a lot of times the moves that we make don't make sense for like what our body wants us to do. So this move is literally just practicing for when you have to do something that you wouldn't normally do. Hands come to heart center. We're going to unhook that right foot. We're going to very gracefully turn it back so that it's looking toward the back of the mat, and we're going to float and land back in that warrior two. Nice. From here, we're just going to bring hands to hips, turn toes out, heels in, and sink down into my favorite goddess stretch. The hands are in the insides of your knees. Turn the right shoulder down, the left shoulder up. And then lean over towards the other side. Left shoulder down, right shoulder up. Nice. Come back through center. And because we're here, we're just going to sink down into our goddess pose. So the pose that I see people struggle with the most is this one right here. External rotation is not something that our bodies like. So your toes are at about a 45 degree. Your knee should track somewhere in the direction of the second and third toe. If it pulls in, it means that you have tight inner thighs. If it pulls out and you go really wide, that means that you're very open to the inner thighs, and maybe your outer hips or your IT band are a little tight. So go ahead and sit in your version. Nice. Hands can be out to the side and sink down. Nice. We're going into that warrior two facing the other way. So the left foot faces towards the back of your mat. The right toes come to that 45 degree. It is hip or heel to arch alignment. Look out over the left arm. Nice. Take your time to adjust. We're here in this pose for a moment, so go ahead and enjoy this shape first. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. Go ahead and sweep it back. Right hand comes down, left hand comes up. So if you're tight to the shoulders, bringing the arm in front is a little much. You might be more comfortable behind. Sweep over, stretch up a little, and back. Exhale, sweep it forward, and back. Nice, and we're going to hold this one. Left hand comes down to the mat, right hand comes up towards the sky. Start to heel toe that back foot in, because we know that this left foot is now going to go to the right, and bring both hands to heart center. So your weight is in this front foot. You're rooting down through this heel. It's an unnatural feeling to push back into this angled foot, right? But we do that in life. So for me, I like to lift my heel and then just slide that foot back the first time till you feel like it. Bring the heel towards the opposite leg. Come back and start to tap that foot. For all my dancers, this is a very well-known shape. And last one, we're going to stick it, or we're going to overcompensate and fall on our ass on the right. Bring your left hand or your left foot in, both hands to heart center, and relax through the shoulders. Nice. Beautiful. From here, relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. Closing your eyes made you fall out of the pose. That's okay. Go ahead and inhale, reach your arms all the way up towards the sky. And then we're coming back into that warrior two. Your left foot is going to reach towards the back of your mat. Bend into that warrior two. Nice. Windmill, both hands down either side of that front foot. Spin that back heel up and step back into your downward facing dog. Ooh-wee. So your feet are hip width. Your head is reaching towards the floor. Go ahead and nod your head, shake your head, and relax into the shape. Hips are reaching up and back, belly pulls in. See if you can separate between the shoulder blades by just drawing them away like you're pulling your arms away from each other, but the fingers don't move. Nice, heels come down. Now from here, bend through the knees. We're coming all the way into our child's pose. That's where we're going to end our practice today before our breath work. So knees are wide, big toes touch. Sink down into your child's pose, settling between the thighs. I like to stack my hands underneath my forehead here and just bring your forehead down onto your stacked hands, settle into the legs. And just let yourself fall into the shape and be here. Feel how it feels to be here right now. Then walking your hands underneath your shoulders, pulling your knees in towards each other, and maybe coming back onto that block to finish to do one more round of breath work. So I like to sit up on my block, up on my shins, let the shoulders roll back and down, hands to the lap. Close the eyes. Just let yourself be breathed here for a few moments. So let the breath come. Don't try to control the in or the out. Just notice how you're feeling here. When yoga was originally practiced, it was all used to get you to the point where you could settle your mind. It was literally just burning off excess energy. That was the whole point of it. So notice how you feel calm now. Notice how you feel that your mind is more prepared to focus. You feel a little bit better about being in the place that you're in right now. We're going to return to that 3-part breath. We're going to do 10 rounds of it. So just bringing your right hand to your heart space, bringing your left hand to your belly. And now we know where we're going because we did it at the beginning. So pulling a nice big full breath in through the nose and then exhaling into your first round. You know to squeeze from the bottom until everything is emptied out, reaching your tailbone towards your heels, lifting your shoulders up towards the sky. Pause at the bottom, like you're mentally setting yourself up for that next breath. Inhale, reach up. As you inhale, try to keep your ears from or your shoulders from rolling up towards your ears, and then just relax into the shape. So continuing on your 3-part breath, pausing at the bottom, inhaling for breath number 3. Trying to make each exhale a little bit longer than the last. So just drawing them out slightly. And let everything else melt from your mind as you continue on this cycle. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. I'm just finishing up the last 2 rounds here. And when you completely empty on that last breath, go ahead and bring your hands to heart center. Go ahead and wiggle out your shoulders, tuck your chin in towards or bow your head a little bit towards your hands, relax through the shoulders. Notice how you feel at the end of your practice. This amazing feeling without a ton of cardio, without a whole bunch of jarring movements. It feels really good to be at the end, and remember that your mat is always there for you. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Have a fabulous rest of your week. Namaste, yogi.